Hello, hello. It is Tuesday night, November 26th, and it's like majorly snowing right here. So it feels a lot like we're in the depths of winter, especially when you look at the amount of daylight that we're getting again. Oh my goodness, 4 o'clock, and it's starting to get dark again. So here we are at the end of November, and tonight we're just going to do half hour of some inspiration and some sharing, and then we're going to do some IPA to finish off the month again. So good that it's right at the end of the month that we can work into Magic Week. Oh, Lena, your baby is so cute. Look at those cheekies. A little bit of a distraction there. Okay, tonight we are going to talk a little bit about lean because we're coming up on the holidays and everybody knows that this is the season of extra food. There's food everywhere, right? And so Ramona had the idea to talk about lean, which I think is wonderful. So if you would be so kind and unmute yourself.
Think I'm here.
You are.
Good. Okay. Am I loud enough? Okay. All right. So, I'm not sure if you've all tried the protein, the lean. I have all the flavors. There's more downstairs, but this is the latest one, the white chocolate peppermint. It's really yummy. And I highly recommend you get it. If you haven't, that's on the American side. We get vanilla and chocolate on our Canadian side, always. And so protein, we all need to have protein in our day. We should be eating it throughout the day. Every time we eat, I recommend having protein, even as part of your snack. In these, I believe it's 21 grams. I forgot to double check that. Something like that, 21 grams, I think, of protein powder. I meant to double check that. If you mix it with a glass of non-fat milk, then they say that's another 9 grams. So that's 30 grams right there. So that's quite a high protein count. If you like to count your carbs, that is. It is whey protein. If I didn't say that already, it is cold pressed, which is really important because then you can retain the, excuse me, the nutrient properties that way in it. You're not losing it. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. Oh, just all of a sudden. Okay. It is a complete protein source. So it's full of rich amino acids, which are your building blocks of your proteins. It's highly digestible and absorbable. Also, well, I don't think it's important. They have the protein concentrate and isolate in this one. And they have prebiotic fibers. So, of course, they're always thinking gut health, which is great. We are a gut health company. They always put that in almost everything, it seems. 21 vitamins and minerals, which are fully methylated and bioavailable, so your body can use them. It's not going to, how do I say it? Your body systems will be able to absorb them better. And what else? There's palm sugar and stevia to sweeten, so it's low glycemic, so you don't have to worry about spiking your blood sugars. I'm getting a screech. There are also some omegas and healthy fats. There's lots of good things in there. I won't get into it all. I did hear that if you have dairy sensitivities, though, because it is cold pressed protein powder, that they say that if you have sensitivities or allergies, that you still might be able to take this one. I don't know if some of you have with those dairy sensitivities, but because it's cold pressed, you may be able to get away with this protein powder other than other whey proteins. I know for me, I can, and I've tried many kinds over the years, and I could never ever digest any whey without having horrible digestive issues. Same with our son. But that could also be because I did these products for a little while. I don't know, and then started this. But either way, excuse me. What else? There's protease enzyme, protease enzymes. I can't talk. Enzyme blend in it. So basically, a digestive enzyme. So that helps your body break that protein down as well more easily. which is probably why I can do this one and not the other ones in the past. It's very, very, very delicious. If you haven't tried it, really try it. It's very creamy. It's not gritty like a lot of protein powders I've found in the past. It's very, very filling, probably because it's got the protein and the fiber in it as well. It has the prebiotics in there. It's also kind of neat to know that with Plexus, they like to do different things to give back to others, and they always have the motto, if you're blessed, be a blessing. So when you get a bag of this, you are actually helping feed people that don't have as much as us with every bag that you buy. I believe it's 10 meals. I'm not sure, maybe 10 meals to feed the hungry with Mary's Meals. And what else can I say? There are so many things you could say about this, but it is very good for if you're trying to lose weight. It can be a full meal replacement. If you do 2 full scoops, they say that's good to replace 1 full meal with that amount of protein. Of course, you can add other things to it. And I like to do even just 1 scoop. I always say to people to use 1 scoop with, you can use anything, but I use plain Greek yogurt. A lot of you I know already do that. And I find that that's very, very tasty. It's sweet enough just as it is. You could add cinnamon. You can add like collagen and all your, you can add anything to it. Sometimes I do berries and hemp seed and flax seed and all those things too. But sometimes just really, really quick and easy, especially if I'm just between clients and that in my day, and I just need something to fill me for another couple hours. I will just have that 1 scoop with plain Greek yogurt, whip it up really quick, and yeah, it's very good. You can use it, of course, in protein balls, obviously, smoothies, things like that. Oh, and Active and the vanilla is really good together. If you're like me, I grew up eating the creamsicles when I'd go to the pool in the summer, and I love, love, love creamsicles. And that kind of gives me a little bit of a taste of when I was a kid. So the Active with the vanilla, and then whether you make it as a smoothie or plain Greek yogurt, it's really, really quite a good treat, and it gives you a little boost of energy with the Active too. So, and I won't get into that one today, but that's all.
That was fabulous. Hey, so often we just need a refresher, right? We have all these products, and sometimes if you're like me, you'll be using a certain amount of products and then kind of back shelving some other ones. And I find I gravitate more towards lean during the winter. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know. Maybe there's just yummier vegetables during the summer. Probably that's why. But I saw lots of suggestions in the chat about how and where. And Ramona, your suggestions are amazing. But I dump, scoop in my coffee and whip it up, and I'm like, so good, so good. So makes it my coffee a little bit better, right? Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Tonight I am just going to do a couple of topics of, I'm not even sure, I didn't even call this anything. It's not really even training. I just want to share on a couple of things that I have seen come up over the past couple of weeks, almost repeatedly. And I always find it interesting that when 1 or 2 people come to me and talk about this, it's usually a day or so later than 2 or 3 other people come and talk about this. And then I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, so let's talk about that and see why this is going on. And often it can be related to like the time of year. It can be seasons. It can be where you are in life, depending on if your life is changing, what you're doing. These few topics are actually about everybody. So it doesn't matter what season of the year it is, doesn't matter what season of life you are in, doesn't matter where you are, it'll apply to you. So the number one thing that I feel has been in lots of conversations again, and not just with Plexus people, but also with prospects, is time, the topic of time. Isn't it crazy how this always comes back up again, right? And I want to say just a few things on that because I often need these reminders. So a couple of them are, number one, people all have time. Everyone has the exact same amount of time. That's never going to change. How each one chooses to use it is on their own, right? And so if at the end of the day, they are using the excuse of time, that means that they're not happy with the choices that they're making. That means busy is a word that they allow to dominate in their life, right? Busy is just simply a mindset. And get this, I've been reading The Gap and the Gain, right? And that's our book that's coming up. And I've really, really recognized, and that's always the good part about reading a book, because after that, you're going to start recognizing why these things are standing out to you. Saying that you are too busy to start your health journey, too busy to share on Facebook 1 or 2 posts a week, too busy to tell your friend about it, whatever it may be, too busy to take your products, you're living in the gap. You're always at the end of that treadmill won't stop running. I just can't catch up, right? How do we focus on helping these people come into the game? And so that's one thing that I feel like this book is going to be amazing at. And today in our chats, several of you guys were talking about Natasha. Thank you for saying that. 15 minutes, 3 to 4 times a day. Bang, you've got some time, right? This applies to everyone. This applies to a busy mom. This applies to a working person. It applies to so many areas of life. I can go right now in my life, I have more time than what I used to have, a lot more time than what I used to have. But if I find like, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that, and I want to go play with the dogs yet, I find that very often I can go sit in my garage on the steps. I'm present with my dogs. They're just, being around me, which is what they want. And I'll be on my phone and I can send 5, 6, 7, 8 messages just in a couple of minutes because I'm not focusing on the time. I'm just being there, right? Okay, next one is money. Money is always a big one at this time of the year. It always makes its rounds. It comes back around and it'll trip people up over and over. Now we know that there is a limited amount of resources that every person alive has, but the same rule applies. They choose where to spend it, right? Just had this conversation with Shirley. Was it today? Was it yesterday? I'm not sure. People actually have, if you start actually understanding of where people spend their money, then you start seeing they have actually a lot more money than what you think they do. It's crazy how you don't actually notice that when you're thinking of starting something new, or you are thinking of, well, I should do that, but we don't have money, or maybe that's for some people, but we can't afford that. That's a scarcity mindset, people. And it just tells you, again, people are living in the gap. If we can shift that mindset and show them that, I'm not sure if Lena Neufeld is on. Is Lena? She's right there. She just had an amazing reel. I just came upon it on Instagram before I started the call. If you haven't seen Lena's reel, she breaks down this cost object perfectly. In a short little reel, you can help people see the objection money doesn't really apply. Because if you don't have money, good, you're perfect for this opportunity, exactly as you are, right? Okay, thought processes. This is also one that how we decide to think about something is going to be different than what other people do, right? How I think about something is often very different than how Sheila thinks about it. And yet, we're both not wrong. And so if you can help someone work through their thought process and maybe help them to understand of where they have set their mindset to work through that objection, it will gain you a customer or it will gain you a business builder, depending on how you help them work through that objection, right? And several of them would just be like, everyone has more time than me, everyone is further than me. Or you can help them see, 15 minutes, 2, 3 times a day, 15 minutes, when your kids are eating breakfast, you have 15 minutes to just sit with them a little bit, answer some messages or make a post, something easy, right? Help them to fit it into their day, that their thought process says, I've already done some things today, I'm not behind. And watch them accomplish even more. And then I'm going to shift a little bit because this is what we were working on a little bit, is sharing the opportunity. And several of you today, we talked a little bit about this in our workers chat. If you are not in there and you're silver and above, and this is something, a community that you would like to have, please message your upline, let us know, because we're always recycling these chats. It's not something that you have to stay in permanently, but it's always an opportunity to be with community and learn alongside of other people sharing and growing their business, right? And so I want to say this. Sharing the business opportunity is probably the biggest thing that people avoid. It also is, on the flip side, the biggest thing that will grow your business the fastest. Isn't that crazy? They are like polarity. They are the opposites of the spectrum. And I know we have fabulous products. It's easy to lead from the products. The products do what they are designed to do. We wouldn't be here 10, 12, 15 years later, still taking these same products, still needing these same products if they hadn't already proven themselves over and over, right? But with that being said, what are the thoughts about money that we don't want to be sharing the business opportunity? What are the thoughts about this model of a business opportunity that we don't want to be sharing about it, or that we resist talking about it? And it's so good to explore some of those reasons. And I'll share some of what I've worked through, because I find that once you start verbalizing some of these thought processes of what's going to potentially, maybe you're resisting to share a business post that is really cool. Maybe you are resisting to post something about yourself because someone might be watching and someone might say something weird at that next family gathering or something, and then I'll just not post it, and then they'll never know. All the rest of your audience isn't going to know either. So you just stopped for that one person. Okay, so several of these are things that I have worked through in my 10 years of building this business. I'm not successful enough. I'll wait until I'm more successful. No, if you made 20 bucks last month, yay you. You got paid to take your vitamins. Tell me who gets that. Like nobody. You go to the health food store and you can buy 3 random products off the shelf that you hope might help. But will they? Is there a coach that's helping you? Is there a team full of people that is supportive and there to answer questions? Do the products even work? Do you know? Do they come with a story? You do not need to be successful to be sharing about this opportunity. It is for everyone, right? This opportunity is not dependent on your success. It will go on to be super successful regardless if you share it or not. And if once we dump ourselves of that responsibility and we can walk into the arena saying, you know what, whether you made $5, $15, $20,000 last month, or you made $5, they're both the same. The opportunity is not going to change. And someone out there is really, really needing this opportunity in their lives. And you have yet to find that person. If your thought process is going to be there, I know I've had to work through that. I've had to have mindset talks with myself and then really get raw and real and share what this opportunity is actually about, regardless of what other people's opinions were, right? And okay, the next one is also a super common one, and a lot of us hear this over and over. I'm not a leader, so I'm not going to share about this opportunity because I don't know what I would do with a team. I've got news for you. We're actually all not leaders until we actually build it ourselves, because you grow as you build it. And it's so interesting to me. Sometimes we have people coming into Plexus that love the opportunity and they have done a lot of leadership things in their lives, maybe at their job, maybe, different places of where they have led different organizations in life. But when they come to Plexus and they have to help lead people with belief, with health, with money, all of a sudden it's totally different. It's not the same. It's not the same as you having leadership skills that you were taught for a certain field. This is a different field, right? And so you never have to feel like I'm not a leader. I'm not, I'm not capable enough of helping people. Yes, you are. If you have ever helped one person, then why not the next one? That's all it is. It's just adding in that next one, and you will grow with those people as they come into your team. Also, one thing that I find often is like quite relevant to leadership is often where people are in life, right? Like it often feels like people who have gone through a lot have a huge amount of empathy and they feel more equipped to lead people. And so if that is an encouragement to you, take your story. Take your story of what brought you here, why are you here, and be open with your story because people are going to relate to that more than any facts or dollar amount or anything else. That relational piece is going to get people to say, oh, you had that too? So did I. And that helped you? Yeah. Then I'll try, right? It's just that simple transactional understanding and building that relationship. And so therefore, if you think about that, we all choose growth exactly like we choose time, exactly like we choose a thought process, exactly like we choose to spend money. It's the exact same thing. And so you can choose growth and you can choose to be uncomfortable and do the actions to grow, or you can choose to stay where you are. Like we see that a lot. You can see that in life all over. Certain people, they pick a job, they do not like being uncomfortable, and so they stay at that job for 40 years until they retire because then they know what to expect. And you know what? Even those people have unexpected circumstances, even when they have planned their life, right? And so I just want to say there's no accidental leaders ever. I'm so glad that we can just learn and grow together because I would literally not have made it anywhere if I hadn't had the opportunity to just grow with my people. And so I want to encourage you before we start our piece on our IPA tonight, I want to encourage you to explore what holds you back from sharing the business opportunity. If it's not knowing things, that's okay. It's totally okay. You can always learn. I've sent messages that were super brave and bold, and then I got a yes back, and then I was like, oh, I don't even know what to say. I have no idea how to answer this. And you know what? Never is a better time than then, because you will have your back up against the wall and you will go find those resources that you need to answer that the best way possible. And that is how we learn. We learn in the uncomfortable. And so just really explore deeply your thought processes, what you think about when you are sharing this opportunity. And if you need help from other people, by all means, ask. Absolutely. There's tons of resources. There's tons of encouragement and stories to bring alongside. And knowing once you face those fears or deal with them, right? Whatever it is, your doubts, fears, insecurities, what it is, you will no longer project them onto others or onto your prospects. Because whether you think it or not, your people can feel when you're holding back something. I once had a lady join for products, and I made this is one of my lessons again. I made the wonderful decision that she probably wouldn't be interested in the business. And so I didn't tell her. This was a couple years ago. And I didn't tell her. And then one day she came back to me and she said, so you're talking in your group there about how to make money. Did you tell me about that? No, I didn't. That's how you learn really fast what not to do is by having your back against the wall. But what I'm saying here is when you explore your own thoughts, fears, insecurities, and maybe talk about them to someone else really helps you get to the bottom of it. All right. I'm going to end with this. Business builders usually automatically become product lifers. That's the beauty of it. When we bring people in for the business, they will learn to love the product. But product users don't automatically become business builders. Both can happen, but But if you lead with the business and you default to the product, you've always planted the seed of the possibility that is there, even if they don't want it, right? So think about this. Which would you benefit most by? Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Sheila, and she's going to take us through our power half hour. It's always a tongue twister. And we'll get started.
Recording.
What's that? Oh, yes.